with the Nation Wars, brought to you by OC Remix, sponsored by Dailymotion, as well as the absolutely wonderful numeric. And we're going into the next game. It's going to be a good one, folks. It's going to be Cass versus Bischu, who is back, and looks like he is back up to scratch as well. So, looks like his connection has been fixed, which is wonderful. So, we're going to see Sweden take on the Ukraine. This is a classic battle, but it unfortunately is a classic battle involving some of the best the Ukraine has to offer and some of the less-known players from Sweden. And that's what really worries me here. If you actually had people like Naniwa in there, you know, if you had Thorzane at his prime, then Sweden, to me, would be absolutely unstoppable here. But they don't. And as a result, they may very well end up losing out here. But they could surprise yet, as Zanster already has. Into the game we go, ladies and gentlemen. To the northwest position in the blue trunks playing Protoss. Representing Team Sweden, it is Bischu. Versus his opponent to the southwest position, the monster, the machine. The beast from the east, in the red trunks playing Terran, representing the Ukraine, Empire Cass. This guy has played some great games today, and you know what? That is awesome to see, because Cass has had a bit of a fall-off. He was, for the longest time in Wings of Liberty, considered to be I think, honestly, before Thorzane came along, I would say Cass was considered to be the strongest European Terran. And I can't think of anyone else would have qualified. Cass was just too consistent. He was a monster on ladder. He was a monster in tournaments. The guy is a macro god. He is a brute force, blunt trauma kind of weapon. He just goes for it. He macros heavily. He has great mechanics, solid decision making. Anything, it's his micro that kind of lets him down a little bit, but not by much. Plays a great style that works really, really well. And then he had a bit of a fall-off, where he wasn't really performing so well in tournaments anymore. He was never, like, amazing at LAN tournaments, but he was excellent online. Really good. Incredibly good. He hasn't had that many big results offline, though, which is a little bit of a shame. But such is the way of things, unfortunately. Some players just don't get good results offline. Cass was able to take third, however. It was a while ago, though. Like, his biggest result in a Premier tournament was actually taking third at IEM. That was IEM Kiev. But bear in mind, this was in 2012. It was early 2012 as well. It was actually in January 2012. He came in third. He beat Zenio 3-2 in the consolation match. He's had 3 third places in Premier tournaments. And he also, his most recent result in a major tournament was actually the Good Invitational, again in 2012. So, to say this guy has fallen off the map would, I think, be a little bit of an understatement. Cass going for the CC first, though. Very macro-orientated build. Exactly what we'd expect out of Cass. Bischu, kind of in a similar situation to Cass, honestly. Bischu with high finishes in a lot of European LAN tournaments. Was actually, for the longest time, I think the best player on Dignitas, as weird as that sounds. Obviously, once Naniwa left, Bischu basically became the best Protoss there. And of course, they had Select and Show with the Terran lineup, and then they got Bling. But Bischu, in my opinion, was always better. Twilight Council going down pretty early here from Bischu. Gas taken on both, but after the expansion, so we might see a bit of Blink out of him. Seems most likely. It's a decent map for it. You got a Blink up here. Decent amount of flexibility. Admittedly, I don't believe you can make... Can you do that Blink? It's actually something I don't know, I'm sorry. I'd have to research that, but... Probably Blink. Unlikely to go for anything else, really. Not at this stage. So we already have a Stalker out on the way here for Bischu, who has currently built no military units, and that's really a safe... wow. Okay, it isn't Blink at all, actually going DTs. I don't know what I think about that. It's a little... I mean, Bischu does scout. He knows where his opponent is. Cass hasn't found him yet. So it's actually going to be the last place that Cass looks, which is definitely unfortunate. And with that Stalker out, he should... Where is that Stalker? According to this, it's not anywhere on the map. He's building a pylon up there. Where's the stock? There it is. Okay. So really there's no way this scout should actually go off. So maybe this will work. I was expecting just a little bit of blink, but apparently not. Engineering bay is going down, though. Cast with the good timing. This is the man that plays... I mean, he must have played like 5,000 ladder games. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's good against everything. There's nothing that really catches Cast off guard. But every now and again, he can make a slip-up. You've got to be aware of things like the possibility of Dark Shrine. And Cast is going to miss it. Oh, wow. He's going to miss it. He might have even seen a robo there, which is a bit of a misread. He hasn't built a missile turret yet. This could end up working. Dark Templar being warped in. Here they are, 2 of them. How fast is he on the spotting? Will he see the blurs with that patrolling marine? I doubt it. Bischu making his way in here. Cast has realized what's going on. Missile turret is going in. Bischu trying to get up the ramp, but he's not going to be able to do this. I think Cast might be able to hold this off very well. Missile turret is up. Current damage is 0. Supply depot going down. He's bringing the second DT and he wants to try and break through. He doesn't have the DPS. He doesn't have it. Bischu getting completely shut out. Cast flattens that attack. No damage done whatsoever. I am sorry for doubting Cast and his ability to deal with that stuff. And now Bischu will try to transition out of that and go for what looks to be 2 base Colossus. But that DT did nothing. Absolutely nothing. At least he only warped in 2. I don't know, if he'd warped in 3, if he'd actually gone directly for the supply depot, that might have worked. But here's the thing. He split up his DTs to make sure that one scan wouldn't catch them both. Because all that would have happened if he had gone up the ramp and tried to kill the supply depot, Cast would have scanned and just killed the DTs. Which is exactly what ended up happening. By the end of it, Bischu was a bit desperate, just went up the ramp and said, alright, screw it, we've got to do something. And he wasn't actually able to do anything. So Cast is now in full-on macro mode. More factories being added on. Is that the first factory? Wow, that's a late factory. All right. He's got stim, though, so he doesn't really care. Late factory, lots of barracks production. Huge amounts of that. It does mean that his starport is going to be late. That could be dangerous. If Bischu goes for a kind of super style of attack, which I believe is just a 2 Colossus push with 4 gates... that could do the job, but there are so many units here for Cast. I'm not entirely convinced even that would work. Bischu's having a look, seeing what he can see. Scouts everything. Scouts the fact that the starport is only just going up. That's interesting. I wonder what that'll trigger him to do. Blink is on the way for Bischu. Looks like he doesn't want to attack. He's going to take a 3rd base by the looks of it. Alright. No 2 base shenanigans here from Bischu. Going to take his 3rd. But... Cast is a sleeping dragon. He eventually will wake up, and eventually he will attack you. And when he does, you better damn well be ready. Like, you need to have the black arrows down there. You don't need just 1 wind lance. You need an entire battery of wind lances. A huge arsenal of black arrows. Because once Cast lands on your doorstep, he is going to roast everything you hold dear. And now he's rolling out. Combat shield on the way. It will kick in just as this arrives. This could be an attempt to deny the 3rd base with only 1 Colossus up. A second one will be done, but it may be a little bit too far away. We'll see. It can't cliff walk over here. It could cliff walk over here. So the attack is certainly going towards the 3rd. Bischu... oh, nice. Bischu warps the DT in directly. That's going to get scanned and killed, one would think. But he's got to be a little bit careful, and here comes the attack. Cast looking to get a position here. This is a bit dangerous with Colossus. The extended thermal lance is not done, but the force fields are very good here for Bischu. Very good for Bischu. Cuts that army in half very nicely. And that should be a cleanup. Unless he missed micros. The attack there cleaned up as well, and Bischu crushed that attack from Cast. Very nice. That puts him right back in this game. Defends that 3rd base. Has a good amount of tech. There are no Vikings out on the field yet, so really, what can you do as a Terran player here? You gotta be careful. Maybe drop, but don't drop too much, because if you split your army up too much, then the Protoss Death Ball lands on your doorstep, and then you are dead. But honestly, Bischu's not on a large army right now. The Colossus are scary, but he doesn't really have anything backing it up at this point. He spent a lot of Zealots and also quite a few Stalkers to defend that. The total units lost something like this. Those 3 DTs really sting. They didn't do much, and they cost a lot of gas. But 20 Marines and 5 Marauders were killed off. He lost 8 Zealots and a single Stalker. No sentries, which is good. Keeps his sentries alive, which is very important. They're sitting under the Colossus quite happily, rebuilding energy, nestling up to their mother's legs. Like a selection of tiny robotic Protoss ducklings. Cass is on the way, though. He doesn't care for small furry animals. He is machine. That's a lot of Marauders. Cass is actually going for... almost the... well, it isn't almost the MorroW approach. It is the MorroW approach. If you go heavy Marauder while the opponent's still on a high-tech but low-size army, you just beat him down. He's going right for the base. He's going to sacrifice units to make this happen. The Mothership Core puts down the Photonova charge. Oh, the base isn't dead. Cass doesn't kill it. He needs to drop. He's going for the drop. He's got to finish the base off, but he spent a lot of units to make that happen. Was that worth it for a third? Look at what he lost. 9 Marines and 8 Marauders. And a medevac. That was expensive. That may trigger Bischu to go, but I don't know. He's trying to transition into Storm, so maybe that wouldn't be the best idea. He's looking to go Storm and Zealots. Right now, he doesn't really have a lot of either. He has 10 Zealots, no Templar whatsoever. So this will be interesting, but it has triggered Bischu to go. Bischu did crush most of that army. It's very Marauder heavy, meaning the Zealot charge will be very effective, especially with those armor upgrades. Storm, maybe not so much. It's a nice thing to research, but it probably won't do the job in this situation. There's too many Marauders. They can very much weather that Storm. Empire Cass's remaining drop forces over there. And I'm actually a little bit disappointed that Bischu didn't attack, because I think he could have murdered that army. There were no medevacs there with it. He could have gone for it with a lot of Zealots and probably crushed it. As it stands, though, all these medevacs are actually finally going to get away. They've been hanging around waiting. They didn't get anywhere. Ghost Academy, very classic response here coming up from Cass. He knows what's coming. Taking out the shields of Zealots is very, very helpful. Taking out the energy of High Templars a little bit more so. Still lots of Marauders coming up here from Cass. He's actually more Marauder heavy than he is Marine. 8 Vikings. There's only 3 Colossus coming out, though. So he doesn't want to build any more Vikings. I think he knows that. Cass, again, with the perfect balance. He's very experienced in this situation. But Bischu's ready to go. In comes a little flank. Ooh, Cass could go. He's going for it. He's going for it. He wants to take out the Templar. He takes out 1. Can he get a second? He could get all the Templar here. This would be absolutely fantastic. Time Warp comes down, tries to take the rest of them. A Storm comes down, and he doesn't get the last Templar, but that was great. Cutting off the Templar at the back. Absolutely brilliant move there. So there's going to be no Storm in this fight if Bischu decides to go, and he's still committed. He does have a lot of Zealots, though. Something we should bear in mind. Those Vikings are not going to be that useful. Ninja expansion from Cass off to the side right here. No Cass drops. He's actually retreated with his remaining medevacs. I'm worried about his medevac count here. But it is a... well, I don't know. Bischu might wait for Storm because that might be the best idea. With almost no medevacs, that Storm's going to be extremely effective mixed in with Colossus. So Bischu's got a good shot at this. Army supply is very equal. But I think Bischu has the better army here. A lot of Zealots, heavily upgraded. +3 armor is about to start. About to kick in. He's going to engage before that by the looks of it. I think he wants to get some Storm energy here. There are ghosts. A lovely blink forward there by Bischu. Picks off 1. Gotta be careful. High Templar looking for the feedback here. Armor is done in 8 seconds. Blinkstalker's moving forward. One's gonna get taken out. No, never mind. By concussive shell. And a nice pick off there by Empire Cass. But this is it. The Zealot and Storm army. It's coming in right now. Is Cass about to get Protossed? Here we go. Looking to see some Storm there. And absolutely fantastic little bit of EMP. The Colossus go down. The ranked firepower of the Terran player is looking quite strong here. Will he be able to hold? The Zealots continue to make their way through. The lack of medevacs is really hurting Cass here. He backs off. This bunker may very well be the savior. That last Archon is going down. Bischu pushed back. And Cass is able to hold. A strong defense there. That bunker really contributing well to that fight. Big losses on either side. But Cass coming out with the better end of that, and he actually has 4 bases. Bischu doesn't know about that. Bischu is building his 4th, but there is a ninja orbital over to the side right here. Big risk, actually, to make that an orbital and not make it a planetary fortress, but this is Cass in full-on macro machine mode. +3/+3 is about to be done, and once he's got that, I think Cass is going to be able to roll over Bischu. But you can never count out a Protoss, especially not with Storm. Colossus are being rebuilt. Most of the Vikings were killed off. There are still no medevacs. So it's a bit unsafe for Cass to leave, especially with Storm on the field. He's going to have to be very, very good with his ghost control. If he decides to attack now, he must be super careful. He may want to wait for 3-3. He may want to wait for some more medevacs. Only 1 on the field, 2 more on the way. They do take a while to build. The upgrades for Cass looking fantastic. The upgrades for Bischu, not bad. I mean, he's got a lot of armor there, but you've got to bear in mind that he is lacking in the attack upgrades, and against +3 infantry, he's not going to be able to kill him that quickly. That said, Storm does not respect upgrades, so You can make it happen. Cass is saying, you know what? I'm going to take a 5th base. I'm going to macro even harder. I'm going to max out. I'm going to make sure you get crushed. Lovely pick off with the EMP. Storm goes down, taking out a couple of Vikings, a little bit of damage. This Storm is important for Bischu. If he can wear down his opponent's army is critically low on medevacs. If he can actually do that, he'll be able to pick this off. That's something he needs to look at. Look at that. Only 3 medevacs. One of them is out of energy. In fact, they're almost all out of energy right now. If he could get another Storm on that as that army advances, he'll be in a great spot. But here's the problem. Cass is sitting on a lot of money. He's sitting on 5 bases. Bischu just took his 4th. Cass is posturing. Would love to try and take that out. He's got double sensor tower down. He's almost unharassable at this point. And Bischu has no idea about that ninja base. Not a clue. 2 Templar coming in for a flank here. Ooh, it's a Storm on the ridge. Cass is going to have to react incredibly fast to this. I don't think he sees it coming. He has no... Oh, no, he's seen it on the sensor tower. Will he detect it? Oh, Cass. Beautiful. Spots it on the sensor tower, realizes exactly what it is, sends a single Marine up there to assassinate the High Templar. Brilliant move. He actually ends up storming it and losing a High Templar in the process. Here's the big attack coming in. The 4th base is forfeit. Bischu will not defend it. He's actually bypassed the army entirely. He's going for a base trade. All right. Bischu's still kind of waiting for the Storm there, but it probably won't do the damage. He should be more concerned about what's going on here. The 4th base is now going to be forfeit. We got Cass pulling back here with a full-sized army. Still very low on health, though. 4 Templar available. There's the blink. 8 Ghosts, though. Most of the shield energy on that army is gone. There's still a lot of Colossus. Not too many air units whatsoever. This could be bad for Cass. He's in a nasty choke point here. If he eats too many more Storms, he's going to go down. Cass plummeting in supply right here. Big EMPs go down on the Protoss. Bischu trying to bash his way through here. He loses more supply. I think Bischu may have needed to kind of finish it there. He needed more Storm. He didn't get it. Right now, the medevac count has started to get high again. So these guys are back to full health. That opportunity has unfortunately passed, it looks like, here for Bischu. That's not too good at all. Bischu's going to pull back. Much weaker on economy here. Cass is still mining from that base. It hasn't been spotted. Bischu thinks he's on 4. He's really on 5. Max out here for the Terran player once again in this big macro game. Cass sitting on a high Ghost count, playing a very classic style. He is playing the balancing act between Ghost and Viking. He's got a very heavy Marauder composition, which is not faring too well against the Zealots, I've got to admit, but it is weathering those Storms quite nicely, and the Colossus shots, so that's not too bad. Bischu now posturing in the center of the map. He's also maxed out, but Bischu does not have much of a bank. Doesn't really have the... Oh, the EMPs! Very nice. He hits a sentry with that as well. Exceptional EMP coming out here from Cass. More snipes. Oh, the Templar! The Templar are all dead! Cass catches them all out. Here it comes, though. There's still a lot of Colossus. There's a huge amount of Colossus. Not enough Vikings right here. Cass is getting pushed back. Will Cass be able to punch on through? The Vikings continue to work on the Colossus. The meat is at the front, and Cass is able to now push forward. The Stalkers are going to die. Both armies trading blows, but Cass getting the upper hand of that once again. Taking out all those high-value units, but the Ghosts are down too. Bringing in more Templar might be a good idea here. There's actually so little for Bischu, but he's acting with really high-powered units. Trying his best to pick off as many as he can. Takes out another Ghost, but he doesn't want to attack into that. Fresh reinforcements coming up behind. 5 DTs being warped in. Interesting. I wonder if he's going to just mix them in with his army. He might. He's possibly looking for a run-by, looking to do some damage here. That won't work out, of course, against that bunker, but he will be able to kill the missile turret very fast with 5 Dark Templar, especially with +3. Actually, he doesn't have +3 yet. +2. So he's doing 55 damage a swing right now. He'll do 60 with +3. He could take out that missile turret quite quickly. He may lose a DT in the process, though. Taking a lot of fire. Oh, he goes right for the bunker, loses a DT, and massacres everything else in that bunker, and is now overrunning this area. Should be able to do some economic damage. Admittedly, there's a lot of forces to draw that back, and it seems like Bischu at the moment just wants to try and harass his opponent. However, so does Cass. He drops into the natural. There's really nothing much mining here, but he's forcing a lot of defense out of his opponent here. There's some critical tech structures he wants to avoid. Nice DT warp in from Bischu. Shuts that down. Finally, the DT's cleared up. Bischu with a decent move here. There's actually still a DT somewhere. Where is it? There it is. It's actually working on the barracks, which, how on earth it got up there, I'll never know. But it manages to sneak in. It's actually killing a barracks on its own, which is a very odd situation indeed. More DTs coming out here for Bischu. And a big engagement on the 4th base. Looking to try and take it out. It is going down. No lift! And defensive storms put in place. And it kills a bunch of the SCVs along the way. So that was really nice for Bischu. Cast suddenly is struggling economically. He still has this hidden base, which is very nice. He can drop a lot of mules there. So that keeps him in this game. But Bischu is starting to claw his way back in. Nice Dark Templar use here from the Protoss player, both defensively and offensively. But Cass has a scary big army and is going to move out once again. The Viking count is at 14 against 5 Colossus. Ghost count is at 11. I mean, he has what he needs here. His Marauder count is very high. The Zealot count is not that high anymore. I think perhaps, it depends. There might be very good AoE. Uh-oh. He's going to have to... Oh, Snipe's coming out. He's going to have to Storm. He doesn't have the energy. The Storm's actually going off immediately. So he loses 2 High Templar out of 6, which is pretty disastrous in this situation. But here we go. Bischu going to attack again. Going for it. Here's the blink. EMPs are looking very good once again from Cass. The 4th base is going down again. There is a 5th base off to the side right here for Bischu, so it's not too bad that he lost that, but he's mined out here, so he's basically on 1.5 bases, which is about to overmine. DTs get shut down as Storm goes down in the middle, and Cass actually eats that, which is unnecessary. Takes a lot of damage there. Bischu's starting to build his army back up. Cass with a big bank. But Bischu with a high-powered unit. The EMPs go down once again. The Zealots trying to make their way in. The Vikings are able to knock over those Colossus very, very quickly here. Great EMPs. Fantastic EMPs on the Templar. Cass hammering his way through. And that, I think, is going to be it. Bischu's army crumbles. Fantastic EMPs from Cass prevent the storms. The High Templar just standing around like morons. The Archon crushed. And Cass, now finally, after a very long game, looking to overrun his opponent. All the rest of those units are going to get killed now. And I think Cass now needs to go find that base. He actually knows it's there already. He's going to go kill it. And that, I think, will be the nail in the coffin for Bischu, who will not be able to sustain another army. He's lost all of his high-power units. DTs are nice, don't get me wrong. He's finally managed to find these bases, but I don't think that matters. There's just too much here for the Terran player. Bischu losing yet another expansion. That's pretty much his last mining base outside of this one, which is about to be mined out and massively oversaturated. The 4th base may very well be down for Cass, but he's been able to mine from here, and he's mined from here as well. A lot of damage was done with those DT backstabs, but with mules, it doesn't really make that much of a difference. Cass is now gathering his forces. The remains of Bischu's army attacking the 4th base, managing to overrun that, which is great. Don't get me wrong, but it's this army that I would be really scared of as Bischu. Army supplies 124 to 51. So let's see if Bischu can somehow pull a comeback from here. He's lost most of his mining bases. He's reestablished his 4th. Should be up momentarily, but if Cass kills that, then I don't see where the money's coming from for the Protoss player. The income's already not that great as it is. Bischu is doing okay, as you can see, but that's because he's over-mining this. He's about to be mined out. So that income's going to plummet to 0. He needs to defend this base and hold it, and slowly build his high-tech units back up if he wants a chance of staying in this game. Cass has taken some harassment damage. This DT... He's playing a bit of musical chairs here, actually. This DT is trying to deny as much mining as possible. As Cass swaps around, there's a DT waiting, though, so it's going to prevent any mining here. Which is good. Good moves from Bischu, because let's be honest, that's Cass's mining base there, and this one is almost mined out. So he's currently on 1 base, and he's going to overmine it with mules. So he's got to watch out for that. There's Dark Templar denying that, but there is this base that might be able to mine. There is a pylon, so again, DT warping or Zealot run by is a possibility here. Cass gathering up his forces. He is building a lot faster than the Protoss player. He's got more money than the Protoss player. This is now the active base here for Bischu, because these patches are about gone. They'll be gone in the next minute or so. Bischu moving forward with an army consisting mostly of Zealots. All the high-tech units are gone. He's reliant on 4 Templar versus 14 Ghosts, which is a very ugly thing. It's not what you want to see. Oh, the EMP's on everything! Takes out absolutely everything, shields-wise. Gotta watch out for the High Templar feedbacks, but I don't think it matters. There's not enough feedback energy to kill that many Ghosts. And that many Ghosts as well with +3 is going to be incredibly effective against Zealots. 26 damage against light with those shots. Very, very good. And now I think this is going to be one dead Protoss player. Cass is posturing. He has what he needs. He knows he's got what he needs. He knows the Protoss player is on its last legs. Shields have come back up on the Zealots, but another fantastic EMP here from Cass, driving that back. That's going to be a dead 4th. That's going to be a dead mining base. The only mining base here for Bischu. We even have mining re-established by Cass over here. DTs continue to harass. Zealot warpins continue to harass, but this army is the big problem. And Bischu, who really should have been dead 10 minutes ago, is still in this game, but not by much. Cass just playing it super safe. Has no idea how many bases his opponent's got. Thinking, oh, well, what if you have high-tech units? Yeah, that was not going to happen, Bischu, I'm afraid. Nice little feedbacks coming out here, but that was one of 4 Templar remaining. Bischu is going to lose all of his probes here as well. I guess he doesn't really need them, but... well, I guess they're going to be donated to Cass there. Absolutely decimated. Overall units lost throughout this game has been ridiculous. Oh, the storms! Big storms! Probably not enough to stop him, though. There's loads of ghosts remaining. Plenty of EMP. The EMP obliterates the Archon. There's the GG. And Cass takes a hard-fought victory. Oh, that was intense. That was a long one. It's a really good game. But Cass comes out the victor there. Bischu crushed, and... well... I think it kind of comes down to Zanster, I suppose, at this point. Because I don't think MorroW beats Cass in a TVT. Not on a regular day, unless he manages to pull off some hijinks. But I think maybe you have to send MorroW out, because honestly, if Zanster loses, then it could very well be all over. Bischu is a very strong player. Zanster, I think, has the best chance, especially considering his performance against Daishi, but... oh, man. Cass showing incredible resilience there. Very good macro play. I'm going to take a short break, if you don't mind. So we are now 9 hours into this cast. And I will be right back. You're watching the O Gaming Nation Wars, brought to you by Numeric and Daily Motion. Alright. What have we got? What haven't we got? We got Empire Cass versus Zanster. This is probably going to be great, but it might not be. There is my assessment. I'm a genius. Here we go. Hey, ladies and gentlemen. To the south position. In the red trunks, playing Zerg, it is the one and only Fnatic Academy Zanster for Team Sweden versus his opponent. To the north position in the blue trunks. A little bit of lag, please no more. In the blue trunks, playing Terran for the Ukraine. Having taken out one player already, taking out Bischu, now up against Zanster, who may very well be the final hope of this team, considering MorroW's performance today has not exactly been up to par. It's Empire Cass. For those of you wondering, today we have encoded 978,863 frames. We have dropped 0 and streamed a total of 12.18 gigabytes of Starcraft in your general direction. Hopefully you've enjoyed the show. Empire Cass is gonna play standard because he's Empire Cass. Now, here's an interesting thing that I know about this, by the way. And that is that, as it turns out, Empire Cass actually vetoed this map for 2 seasons in a row. I wonder if Zanster knew that. I doubt it. But Zanster picked Polar Night, and that is a map that, as we have seen, Cass is not especially fond of. Doesn't really like it all that much. So I have to wonder what will happen here. I'm going to see a pretty standard opening. This is going to be a Reaper by the looks of it. Yeah, should be a Reaper. He may decide to neglect it, but as you can see, he's... I mean, just let's follow the arrow for a second. I wonder what this is. That looks like a Reaper to me. Yeah, it's on the way. So we'll see a Reaper out of him momentarily. Alright, well, Cass, I would imagine, is going to play straight up. Zanster is a bit unpredictable, as we've seen earlier, and it's really a strength of his. Something that he has been able to take great advantage of in the past. And he was able to pull it off against Downfall and actually then reverse the series and win against Daishi, which was brilliant. Zanster put on a great performance for Sweden. And he does things that really kind of shouldn't work. We saw against Downfall, he went for 5 mutas. Which, you never really build 5 mutas, especially his economy had got ransacked. So you think, oh god, well, what am I going to do here? I can't really make that happen. Downfall started with this really sneaky proxy barracks into a fake bunker wall-off. He destroyed, well, he forced a cancel on the natural. And then actually pulled all of his Marines, bar about 3 back, forced a huge amount of units out of Zanster. Zanster fell for it hook, line, and sinker, and was then massively behind. But Zanster was able to make it work. We're not really sure how, but he did. However, we are playing against a conventional player here, yeah? Cass is about the most conventional you can possibly expect. Great control out of Zanster there. To actually keep all of his lings alive for the most part. trying his best to drive this away. Oh, God. If we could just no. It was a cool story, bro. He's gonna be out. Brilliant. Well, I suppose we've at least got to, is that the Russian stream? Ooh. Cass. Oh my. Never mind. How many more delays can we have? Hopefully no more. This is quite enough, thank you very much. I'm gonna click that button. Can I click it? No. Cool Story is gone! Along with VP BenQ. Apparently their monitors make your game lag. How terrible. I did not mean that. Please don't sue me. Never mind. Alright, well that's that out of the way. Anyway, as we were saying, we're talking about just how rock solid Cass is for the most part. And I'm interested to see. I mean, Daishi, I think, is a little more gimmicky than Cass. Cass is the least gimmicky Terran I've ever seen. Which is a weird thing to say, considering that you're about to tell me, hang on a second, Cass is the least gimmicky Terran you've ever seen, and this is the same Terran that did Proxy Thor against Todd. And an engineering bay block on a barracks to stop it from taking its reactor. Yeah. But here's the thing. That was 2 games out of the 20,000 or so that Cass has actually played. So, just consider that. Cass is a really rock-solid macro player. Those were gimmicky, but it's almost like that Thor drop was specifically designed to piss off Todd. And you know what? It was genius. It worked very well. Interesting move here. Is Cass going to go for Banshee? Well, Zanster's going to scout that immediately, so... He doesn't have the gas to go Cloak. So I expect it'll just be a regular Banshee, which is fine. I mean, you can do a lot with a regular Banshee. And Cass is going to get the Overlord as well. Nice pick off. So he goes for the Banshee. Cass is not going to cancel it. He's just going to go on forward. Cass is not the kind of person to pull a cheese against a Zerg most of the time. Maybe against Todd, but not a Zerg. So we're going to see a little bit of Marine, but for the most part, Hellion Banshee action coming out here. It's a good way to do things. Does a lot of damage. Very effective. Difficult to kill. If you're going all Lings, then, well, you're not going to survive all that long. The Spore Crawler's coming out. Zanster, of course, knows the Banshee is coming, so wants to just keep it away from the mineral line. Let's see if he builds another Banshee. There's actually 2 more racks coming out of that, so no, he's just going to build a single Banshee. Alright. So he may decide to bring in the Banshee for a backstab, or he could just put it with the army and go for a little poke. And he could do some decent damage with that, but he's going for the backstab, flying all the way across there. There is a Spore Crawler in position, however, this area right here is vulnerable. So it is possible that he might be able to get some damage done. Zanster has actually stayed on 2 bases for a long way. He's actually on 2-base Spire, which is kind of cool and very, very old school. We don't see that very often. No attempt at all to take a 3rd base. So we'll see what he can do with 2-base Spire. His speed is now complete. Obviously a little bit late, but such is life. Cass doing a little bit of damage. Taking a little bit of damage as well. You've got to be a bit careful when it comes to those Banshees. If you take damage, then you can't directly engage a Queen. A full health Banshee does kill a full health Queen, but a less than full health Banshee does not. Oh! Wow, Cass could have got there a bit earlier. Actually, I think he's going to force the cancel anyway. I don't know. I don't think the Hellion DPS is high enough, so no. That was not the shot you wanted to make. He actually ends up shooting his own Hellion there. Doesn't kill it, but that was a bit unfortunate. Cass wants the cancel, but I think Zanster should be able to... No! He goes for the cancel anyway. He's going to try and rebuild there. Links come around the side. Good engagement there from Cass, though. He doesn't lose too much, just a Hellion. Now making his way around, and the Banshee's also engaging. It's picked off a couple more drones here. So this is going alright. But Cass is going to have to leave now. He's not going to be able to hang around too much longer. Finally, the upgrades come in. Very late, of course. But he did go for Muta Spire before the 3rd base. So these Mutalisks do come out a little bit quickly. But the Marine count's quite high. I don't see them doing too much, but... I don't know. Zanster's made some miracles happen before with a small count of Mutalisks, so Let's hope he doesn't run right into those Marines. He does. No stim, though, so Cass is not able to pick that Marine off. What am I talking about? Sorry, I've been casting for like 9.5 hours. I'm starting to lose my mind. Regardless, Cass did not stim forward to take that out. He will stim forward to kill this Overlord. Denies the third base again. And there's actually a third going down here instead. Might be a little easier to defend, although Cass is pushing forward quite handily with this group of units. It could easily go either way. The Baneling nest is very late, so Cass is making this push, and it's still a little bit risky. He's got to force the cancel again and get the drone, which is wonderful. He's being really diligent with taking out these third bases, but he is making this push without combat shield, so it can be a little bit risky. Banelings would make a mess of this army. Zanster now looking for some damage. There's already a missile turret there, and there's not... The problem with Zanster's style of getting not too many mutas is that missile turrets are generally pretty good at killing small flocks of mutalisks, so that it really isn't going to do too much, and that actually allows for Cass to be active on the map. Just putting down an extra one there. He is doing all of this without medevacs, though, which is unusual. 2 queens are going to go down, though. A nice little pick off there for Cass. Only 3 queens there for those 2 bases. He's trying to take a third here, is Zanster. But he still doesn't have Baneling speed, and he doesn't have upgrades either. And as usual, we're seeing good upgrades here from Cass. They're going to finish it around the same time. That is not where you want those mutas to be. I wouldn't recommend that. I have to see some excellent control here from Zanster to make that work. Admittedly, that can be okay when there are no medevacs to heal up. But Cass is now taking his third base, so I expect to see a lot of medevacs coming out. Here come the mines as well. And that's when Cass starts to get really scary. And Zanster has been very cagey with his engagements so far. He's being very careful. He's only just kind of darting in, taking a unit, darting out. But if you make a mistake with that style, then Cass will just ram it down your throat. And that's not pleasant, so I've been told. Good few mines placed here. Cass splits up, and he's now starting to threaten that third base. However, Zanster sees it, and is able to take out 1 mine and 2 banelings. So that's 1 mine and 2 marines, in fact, for 3 banelings, which is okay. It's not too bad. Morlings coming in right here. The mines are in good position on top of... Oh, they do not detonate that well, actually. They don't hit the mutas at all. Banelings coming in. Good splits coming in here from Cass, though. Will there be enough marines to kill this many mutalisks? I don't think so. Zanster has enough. He kills that army and takes several medevacs out as well. Great play by Zanster. Very impressive. The Widow Mines didn't really do the job. If they had, I think that would have been a very different fight. They did not hit where they needed to. And now Zanster with map control once again. There's a bunch of marines here. A bit of dodgy mutalisk control there by Zanster. Losing a muta for no apparent reason. Looking to try and threaten the natural here. And maybe pick off, say, a Widow Mine, which is actually Oh, that's a nice move. Zanster, great control. And Cass, well, not so much. Loses 3 more marines as well, so that's really nice. Zanster doing well there. Another push comes in. More Widow Mines deployed. He's looking to try and gut this third base. He's got a lot of damage here, but Zanster with the quick response team. And these Widow Mines are going to do next to nothing as well, and he's revealed them too. So that was not a good push there at all. And the Mutalisks are actually chasing this as well. So Zanster's Ling Bling Muta style is working very well. He's going to take another medevac. Might get that one before Boost comes back in. Oh, he is. That's beautiful. Alright, Cass is in a lot of trouble now. Zanster's really got the lead in this game. He's managed to reestablish his 4th base. His muta count is high enough to do damage, but not crazy high to the point where he sacrifices his ground army. Upgrades are an advantage for Cass, though. That's something we should bear in mind. 2-2 started way, way earlier for Cass. It's almost done. If he waits for 2-2 and fights, he'll probably be in a better spot. Zanster would love to take those engineering bays out. That would be wonderful, but I don't think there's enough mutas to really make that happen. It would be incredible if we managed to pull that off. Cass just sitting on the creep here, nice and happy. 41 marines, 3 medevacs, and 6 Widow Mines, and that's it. 2-2 is done. So the mutas do not want to engage against those marines now. They will get horribly murdered. But what does Cass do? Wants to try and take on the third. He's going to have to push through a lot of this creep. The creep hasn't joined up yet, so he's got a really cool opportunity here to push a lot of this back. Small group of marines gets out of there nice and easy. A nice boost on the medevacs as well, but Cass isn't able to do anything here, and this worries me. Zanster's sitting on 4 bases. His upgrades are very slow, but we've seen Zanster before against Daishu, where he gets a lot of lings out, and he starts to really do damage. But with this upgrade disadvantage, it might not work out. Thing is, Zanster's army is huge. 95 lings and 21 banelings here versus 53 marines. There are some Widow Mines, but so far, Cass has not had good luck with them. Pneumaticized Carapace coming up for Zanster. For some reason. I mean, nice for the Overseers, I guess. That's what he's going to want it for. There we go. So he'll get the speed boost with that so he can keep up with his Ling Bling Muto army. Bunch of Lings run by to have a look at the 4th base. There's nothing there, but they do meet the bullets of Empire Cass's Marines. Still plenty of units coming out from all sides. Not as many Marines being produced by Cass as I would actually expect here. Which is strange, considering he's still sitting comfortably on 3 bases, but he's not about to in a minute. There's no defense here! Oh no, oh no, oh no. That is absolutely awful. The 3rd base taking damage. Widow Mine's going off, killing a decent number of Banelings, though. And Cass did manage to save almost all of his SCVs, which is very impressive. So he's able to push that back. That could have been a lot more dangerous, but Cass with the quick reaction time there. That bunker will burn down by the looks of it. All the SCVs have pulled back out of range. This base is going to be a planetary, but actually, well, I don't think so. He's going to have to cancel that. Now with the big Marine push here. And I know Zanster has so many Lings, I don't think this is going to work. And the upgrades are now equalized as well, and he's leaving those medevacs out. He doesn't want to do that. Let's see how good Cass's splitting is. I guess we're about to find out. He actually splits into 2 different groups here. The medevacs come in. But they're under threat here from the med... Oh, the Muto's coming in. All the medevac's going to die here. Looks like Cass's army's about to get splattered. The splits are pretty good, but there's too much. There's just too much Zerg. Zanster overruns him again. Stops the 4th base from going down, and this is looking grim. However, 3-3 is on the way. You should never underestimate 3-3 Marines, but I don't know if he's going to even have any Marines after this. Zanster crashes in again. Gonna take out that natural expansion. He is through the wall. How good will these Baneling hits actually be? Cass is splitting up as best he can, but there's too much Zerg. It's all over the place. The mineral line gets obliterated. Zanster's in the main base. Zanster's in the natural. Zanster's attacking the production outside the 3rd. Empire Cass, GG's. And I think we can see why he vetoed this map on the ladder. Zanster runs him over completely, and the hope of Sweden survives. Zanster has been an incredible player today. I mean, we've seen some great stuff, Hero Marine in particular, but Zanster, hey, you know, if he manages to take this series from the Ukraine, then he may even be more impressive than that. He's pulled excellent comebacks. His Zerg versus Terran with that Baneling Mutalisk style is just ridiculous. I don't even know how he gets that many Lings. He's got, I've got to assume excellent lava production. He's building huge amounts of them. He's not losing them to Widow Mines. He's getting good engagements, and he's just overrunning his opponent. You can't split against that much. It almost seems to me that if you play against Zanster style, you've got to include Hellbats in your composition, because if you don't, then those Marines don't stand a chance. They just get surrounded and killed. Yeah, I think you've really got to throw some Hellbats in there. It's the only way it's going to work. I mean, maybe you could play a slow style with tanks, but Hellbats seem like the way to go, and Widow Mines are clearly not. Zanster's very aware of Widow Mines. He knows exactly where they are at any given time. He keeps good track of them. So there you go. Pretty impressive display by Zanster. And we'll be going into Game 3 momentarily, folks. You're watching the Nation Wars, brought to you by O Gaming, Numeric, and Daily Motion. Alright, folks, we've got the next match coming in right here. Finally. I know, I'm getting actually really tired and dizzy, so I am very sorry if my performance is poor. I'm just not feeling that well at the moment. Never mind. I'll do my best. Okay, so here we go. Habitation Station will be the venue for this encounter. It's going to be DIMAGA coming out here for the Ukraine. DIMAGA ZVZ. It's pretty good. Definitely not to be sniffed at. Deciding not to use Bly, which is interesting. Although, I think Bly ZVZ maybe not the best idea. It makes more sense, I think, just to save Bly for MorroW. Although I think DIMAGA has a good chance of just taking out Zanster. If DIMAGA takes out Zanster, it's likely that MorroW will fall as well. Because, in my opinion, DIMAGA is a much stronger player right now than MorroW. But, MorroW can surprise, so who knows. But I think it makes sense to send DIMAGA out now, rather than just putting DIMAGA on a match point situation where he has to beat both Zanster and MorroW, and he could get cheesed by either of them. So, yeah, I think that makes good sense. So it's currently 1-1 in this series, ladies and gentlemen, the best of 5 in between Sweden and the Ukraine. We have for you Fnatic Academy's Zanster from Sweden in the northwest, and the red trunks playing Zerg, versus his opponent to the northeast position in the blue trunks. Sponsored by Rakat. Actually teamless right now. Representing the Ukraine, and the captain of Team Ukraine, it is DIMAGA. He's pretty good at Starcraft 2. Say it with me. He is. I mean, lately, his performance has just been ridiculous. His performance today has been absolutely awesome. He's played in some of the best games that we've seen today. Really cool stuff from him. Zanster, on the other hand, has... Well, I wouldn't say even on the other hand. It's like Zanster has also played in some of the coolest games we've seen today. But Zanster's Zerg versus Zerg, now that to me is a little bit of a mystery, because that is not something we've really had a chance to watch. There is no Zerg on the French side of things. Stefano, of course, has retired. So when Sweden beat France, they didn't get to play against that, and then they got all killed by Germany, so they didn't get a chance to play against a Zerg player. So it's actually a bit of a mystery as to how Zanster performs in this matchup. DIMAGA, on the other hand, that is not a mystery. DIMAGA Zerg versus Zerg is very good. We've already seen that today. Pretty fantastic player. And he has a lot of experience. So this could be Zanster's downfall, and if Zanster goes down here, then that leaves MorroW with the rather unenviable task of trying to kill both DIMAGA and Bly, which is tricky at best. Okay, let's pull first here for Zanster. Actually, no it isn't. What am I talking about? Let's pull after Hatchery. Both at around the same time for these guys. They've gone for fairly similar builds. There is a gas coming down here for DIMAGA. I'm going to see when the gas is actually taken for Zanster. Hasn't been done as of yet. He could take one now, but he's electing not to. Okay. Alright, so DIMAGA looking to get earlier speed here. The question is, does he go for the earlier Banelings? Does he try some kind of Roach aggression? DIMAGA's Roach aggression is kind of great, as we saw in the game against TLO. I wonder if DIMAGA will get really greedy and try and take a third. I doubt it. On this map, maybe not. It's not really going to go unscouted for anywhere near as long as it did the last time against TLO, where it was able to actually get away with that. I don't think that's going to happen. Zanster's still going gasless, though, which is really intriguing. I mean, he's going to have to go Queen heavy. Without gas, of course, he's not going to have speed. DIMAGA almost has enough gas for speed, and there's not even gas begun here for Zanster. So I wonder what his defense is going to be. It's going to have to be heavy Queen, Spines, if DIMAGA gets aggressive. I mean, if DIMAGA scouts no gas, which... I mean, he's seen the base. Actually, he knows there's no gas. He's got an Overlord there. That may prompt him... Yeah, he's going to go straight to speed. That may prompt him to be aggressive. He might not be able to get into the main base, but he would certainly be able to damage the natural mineral line. And it would be very difficult for Zanster to defend with no speed. As you can see, Zanster is going for a very Queen-heavy build. Something that DIMAGA is quite known for, actually. DIMAGA pulls right out of gas, so he's just going to go speed. He may just decide to play macro here. 4 queens is a good amount, but of course if they get surrounded, then those lings can kill them off pretty fast. So it is... We'll see. I'm interested to see if he decides to do that. There, the gas has now finally been taken very late here by Zanster on 35 supply. Spinecrawler going down for Zanster as well. He knows, oh, the opponent knew that I didn't have gas. Okay, there could be some aggression coming my way. I should probably prepare for that. Zanster also scouts and sees that speed is not done yet. He also sees there's nothing in gas. So he knows, alright, the only thing you're going to have is speed. There is not a Baneling nest down anywhere. DIMAGA actually taking another gas at his natural, just to kind of confuse Zanster, who is going to have more difficulty scouting it. And then let's see a Roach Warren coming out here from Zanster immediately. And a full wall off. So any kind of Ling aggression is probably going to end up being deflected here, but there's a canceller on the Spinecrawler. But honestly, DIMAGA doesn't do that. He's not attacking. So he gets his speed out, and he's saying, you know what? I'm fine with that. I'm actually going to take a third. He just took the gold base. And this is a fantastic move here, because Zanster is really... I mean, he hasn't really had gas. He has no aggressive options. This could allow DIMAGA to get very quickly ahead. Especially if Zanster doesn't scout it, which he currently hasn't, but he will. And he does have the Overlord heading right towards the gold base, so that is going to see it. A Baneling nest on the way and a Roach Warren here for DIMAGA, but I don't think Zanster has an aggressive option. He's going to build some Roaches, but the Roach Warren's already on the way. With a Spinecrawler down and some Roaches in the defender's advantage, I think DIMAGA's going to be fine here. And as a result, the income looks something like that. DIMAGA has a significant lead here. He's even going to have a lava lead as well, which in the Roach Wars is very important. Now, gas is not massively important for roaches. You do need a decent amount of minerals. Zanster doesn't even have speed yet. It's actually quite funny. DIMAGA picks that one up nicely. Will we see aggression? Well, we will. There's nothing but units coming out here from Zanster. He's going to start to build a large roach count. He's going up to 8. He wants to try and take out that base, and if DIMAGA gets too greedy, he might be able to pull that off. There is an upgrade coming out here for DIMAGA, and he's also going to Lair, so he may decide to go to Muta after that. DIMAGA with a large amount of lings is actually going to see this aggression coming here. Looks to try and get the queens. He's actually going to maybe kill a queen. No, that was a really bad engagement for DIMAGA. He wasn't able to pull that off at all. Metabolic boost is about to kick in as well, so DIMAGA is going to lose the rest of his zerglings, and the roaches are now on the way to knock, knock, knock on the door. There aren't quite enough roaches for DIMAGA here. It's 14 versus 4. DIMAGA may have got a little too greedy. This aggression comes in, and if he doesn't have what he needs to defend this, then this could end up being disastrous. And Zanster going to get aggressive. Bringing in everything he's got. That's plenty of roach. He's got lings at the front to absorb a lot of those shots. Banelings go off to clean up some of those lings, however. Can DIMAGA hold on? He does have the defender's advantage. He can reinforce, but he's not reinforcing quite quick enough from the back here. Zanster is not going to be able to break that ramp as of yet, though. DIMAGA bringing in more units. The lings start to come in, and the queen trying to defend. There's the inject coming up, and DIMAGA realizes, uh-oh, maybe I can't hold this. The spine's coming up here. Still mining from that base. However, DIMAGA is losing his roaches. Brings in more reinforcements. He wants to save that gold base. There's more units streaming across the map for both players. Full-on unit production mode from these guys. 4 roaches. Zanster finally is actually getting crushed here. The money advantage really comes out in favor of DIMAGA. He has the money, he has the lava, and Zanster suddenly overextends with his queens, thinking he can kill that base, and DIMAGA says, no way! Absolutely not, and Zanster takes a crushing loss. That's really bad for Zanster. He's economically behind now. He lost a lot of units there. He lost a lot of production time. DIMAGA's looking solid. He's also gaining an upgrade advantage. Zanster is working on it, but +1 is already done for the roaches. Roach speed coming out for both sides here. DIMAGA putting down a spine crawler. He'd love to fight around this area, and he will get the chance to do that. Ling run by gets shut down here as well. Zanster is taking his gold base, though. So unless DIMAGA can do something about that, Zanster's going to be able to catch up quite quickly. But DIMAGA has been in a position for several minutes of economic advantage. His income is looking good, as you can see. Well, it's been a good amount over his opponent there. Alright, DIMAGA now moving out on the map once again. Getting some lings out there, seeing what he can see. Which right now is not a lot, really. Not too much. He's not going to be able to make much happen with that, but if he gets an opportunity, he'll make the run by. Zanster just hugging his own hatchery here. He really needs that gold. He absolutely does. He knows that. And he knows DIMAGA still has his and held onto it very well. The income is starting to equalize, though, as you can see. It's getting a little bit closer. So what's the next move? Well, DIMAGA's trying to get an upgrade lead on his opponent, which he kind of is, but he's only doing this off a single evolution chamber. So there's actually double evo down for Zanster, meaning that eventually the catch-up's going to happen, because it's 2-0 versus 1-1. I think that's an advantage for DIMAGA slightly, because roaches get 2 damage for every upgrade they get, whereas the Roach Ground Carapace will take it up from 1 to 2. So it is a bit of an edge, just a small one, but it is an edge, and that can matter in a mirror matchup. 42 roaches to 32. The Roach Wars have now begun. Roach Wars, something that DIMAGA is very good at. DIMAGA also has a very large roach lead here, which certainly helps, but you should bear in mind that roaches have fairly limited range, only 4. So getting too many roaches can actually be a problem, because you can't necessarily get the fire. What you ideally want is every roach firing at once, and if you got too many and you're in an awkward spot, you can't necessarily do that, so you got to watch out for it. Zanster having a look. Gets a good scout off there. +2 is about to be done here, but Zanster's working on 2-2 of his own, so there is an opportunity, I think, for DIMAGA to do some damage, but I would be a little bit concerned. If he waits too long, he could end up being grossly far behind. 63 roaches for DIMAGA. Massive, massive roach max here at 13 minutes 50, and now he's rolling. Zanster's building his own force, though, so this is going to be quite close. I wonder whether or not Zanster will be able to reinforce quickly enough. Zanster spreading out, looking for a concave of his own, so is DIMAGA. He's being very, very careful about how he clumps these roaches up. He doesn't want to be in a big clump. Oh, a huge surround by Zanster, but All of the roaches are firing from both sides by the looks of it, so it's actually a little bit difficult to see who is winning here. DIMAGA's going to break this by the looks of it. I think the gold base might be forfeit here, and DIMAGA barrels forward. He does have that +2 advantage, and it turned out to be absolutely huge. The surround didn't do anything. DIMAGA actually getting a bad fight here because he's not microing his roaches, but the rest of the roaches are in the base, and this +2 will not finish. That leaves DIMAGA with an upgrade lead. Roaches camping the mineral line, more roaches coming out here, and Zanster is just dead. Just horribly dead. I mean, you might think, oh, he can come back from this. It's 48 roaches to 7. That was just awesome. DIMAGA with the attack at just the right time before 2-2 finishes. The surround comes in, but honestly, all that allows DIMAGA to do is fire with all of his roaches. Ideally, the best situation for Zanster would be to fight into a choke where only half the roaches could actually fire from the back. That would have allowed him to reinforce, would have given him the time he needed to maybe get some spines up, maybe some transfuses, but actually surrounding a ball of 60 roaches is the worst thing you can do. And that's why. And now, Sweden is in a really tough spot. MorroW has got to get rid of not only DIMAGA, but also Bly. That's going to be tough. MorroW's performance has not been that good this tournament, I'm afraid. All killed, of course, there by Hero Marine and then killed by Downfall as well versus France. He's currently 0-2 in this tournament. And DIMAGA is a monster. Pulling out so many wins for his team. MorroW pulls it back. It's going to be... I mean, it will be very difficult, I think, for MorroW to pull that back. If he manages, I'll be very impressed. We will see. Sweden's hopes all rest upon the shoulders of MorroW. It's kind of a shame that they didn't bring Nanua. But I'm not going to comment on any more of that. It's not worthwhile. You can investigate what happened there yourself if you wish. It's an annoying and sordid story of drama and bullshit. Can you tell I'm a little bit sick of that? Yes. Alright. Well, it's Derelict Watcher or Daedalus. Those are the choices remaining. We're going to wait on MorroW's choice, and then we're going to go into the game right after this. Let's play a track, shall we? That sounds good. Why not? Let's see what we can play. I know. The last player standing, he can have some Morrowind. Enjoy. To the map right now, which is taking too long. Let's not have any more technical problems. That would be nice. And here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, welcome. Derelict Watcher. This man right here. He's got to turn it around for Sweden. It's going to be a tall order. To the northeast position of Derelict Watcher in the Blue Trunks playing Terran. Team Properties MorroW. Versus his opponent to the southwest position in the Red Trunks playing Zerg. For the Ukraine, the captain, it is Rocket DIMAGA. So what is MorroW going to pull out of his hat here? DIMAGA's rock solid in this matchup. Absolutely rock solid. Ridiculously good at it. This is the guy that knocked out Hero Marine that was looking unstoppable. Hero Marine was at a 5-0 at that point. Before DIMAGA got a hold of him. I think it was... I'm just hoping that that's actually right. It wasn't Bly, was it? No, don't think so. DIMAGA is really, really good in this matchup. He's really, really good in every matchup. He's very experienced. And MorroW is cheesing. Here he goes. Double proxy barracks. 11-11 by the looks of it. This is going to be a short game, I think. One way or the other. We'll see whether or not MorroW can actually pull it out with an 11-11. Hatchery first for DIMAGA. Not what you want in this situation. He's going 15, 16. Oh, no. This could be a disaster for DIMAGA. 17 pool? Please don't go gas before pool. Please don't go gas before pool. Oh, okay. 16 pool. That is really late. Incredibly late. The barracks are almost done here. The DIMAGA's Overlord will scout this, but it will scout it really late. Okay. So DIMAGA has basically got to hold Marines with, well, right now, nothing. By the time that first Marine arrives at the natural, there won't be anything. So this is going to be difficult. The 11-11 can do a lot of damage. Can be very effective. It's going to be a scary matchup here for DIMAGA. Very scary. Alright, and DIMAGA is going to scout it right now. There are already Marines on the field. He could end up just losing. Oh, the Overlord turns around. Oh, did he see it? Please tell me he saw it. He must have seen it. He didn't see the barracks. Maybe he just saw the Marine just out of the corner of his eye there. I hope so. Yeah, he did. Drones are coming off the line there. Alright, here we go. How good is MorroW's control? How good is DIMAGA's drone control? Let's find out. The bunker is on the way up here. MorroW with the stutter step. Plenty of drones already going down. However, DIMAGA manages to kill one of them. Runs down a second. Can he kill the rest? No. 4 workers killed. He didn't stop the bunker. He's got to stop the Marines from getting in that bunker. He must surround it. He hasn't completely surrounded the bunker, but he's going to be able to kill it by the looks of it. Second bunker's going down. Alright, bunker's dead. There's a spine crawler on the way. The spine crawler could very well end this aggression, but not if it takes too much damage beforehand. MorroW with 5 Marines. Now pushing forward. The SCVs and the Lings are now in the mix as well. Drones coming off the line here. Will this aggression end? The spine's up. The spine is up. It looks like DIMAGA might be able to actually hold this. The SCVs are dying. The bunker is cancelled, and DIMAGA holds on a 16 pool against 11-11, which is very impressive. Admittedly, MorroW is still going to try for it. He might be able to. He's marching up the ramp again with some pretty badly injured Marines. Loses an SCV immediately, which is not where you want to be. DIMAGA is not even building links. He's not even worried. He thinks he's got this, and he's probably right. The barracks are still building. SCVs are being pulled. MorroW's just all-inning from this position. I think he's pretty much given up. This could very well be a rather short and anticlimactic game. SCVs have been pulled. He's going to try and go in for one last final attack here for Sweden. But I think this is going to be Sweden's downfall, I'm afraid. Here it goes. Can he do enough damage? The SCVs are in the mix. There's a lot of Marines behind this. He might be able to push his way through. He's gonna have to. I mean, he has to kill his opponent here. Crippling damage isn't even enough. He will take crippling damage. He's got to kill this spine crawler. There's more Lings on the way here. Drones coming in for the surround. Great transfuse here by DIMAGA. He pushes it back. He pushes it back again. More Marines dead. The drones are enough. The spine is still there. The queen is still there. There are still Lings. Oh, to the face. Good lord. That is one, I think that is one dead-looking Terran we're seeing right here. I don't see him being able to make this work. MorroW's pushing in again. He's gonna, I'm not sure what he's trying to do. He's trying to get into the main base, so that's not gonna work. He's getting at least out of range of that spine crawler, but right now, what remains of the Terran army is kind of sitting there. A couple more SCVs are being built, but MorroW's army's about to get surrounded and crushed by the looks of it. That is the last remaining fighting units of the Terran going down here to those Lings. 6 more Lings being built. These guys are going to die. The stutter step is not even close to being good enough. That's it. GG. A rather anticlimactic end to Sweden's run in this tournament. Well, perhaps next time you shouldn't get rid of Naniwa. Sweden reaps what it sows there, I'm afraid, and the Ukraine with a very impressive performance. Great play from Zanster. Gotta say, I'm really impressed by him. I can't imagine what, you know, a team of Zanster and Naniwa and maybe even Thorzane would have been phenomenal for Sweden. That would have been a powerhouse, but unfortunately, it looked like Zanster was really the only one there able to shoulder the burden. He did really well in this tournament. That was a fantastic performance, and hopefully we see more from him. Unfortunately, the rest of the team was not up to the Ukraine. DIMAGA wrecks all. Really impressive by DIMAGA. Very, very good indeed. He wins a ton of games for the Ukraine. Great performance. In fact, the Ukraine team in general has been awesome. Really impressed by Kast today. And of course, very impressed by Hero Marine earlier in the tournament. But that, as they say, is that. That is the end. Day 2 of Nation Wars has finally concluded. Only ending like 4 hours late. Oh, God. Ow, I'm in a lot of pain. Sorry. Been sitting for too long. So your finalists, folks, Russia, Norway, Germany, and the Ukraine. That's a really good lineup. Really good. Looking forward to that. That's going to be a fantastic final day. I think it's 3 best of 5s and the best of 7, which hopefully will get done a hell of a lot quicker than this. I have 7 hours to cast tomorrow, otherwise I will actually have to leave. So, I have a prior engagement. But hopefully you enjoyed this. Thank you very much to our new subscribers. Very much appreciated. Your support actually means an awful lot if you didn't already know that. Hopefully you do. And I'll be bringing you the final day tomorrow at exactly the same time. And we will see who is able to take the championship. We've got some really good teams. Really fantastic teams. It should be good. Day 9 will be joining me for the rest of the event tomorrow, so please do enjoy it. And I will see you next time.